Let's talk about the UK. We had a special guest lined up for you from the UK today, but we had some issues and a scheduling conflict, unfortunately, in London. We're going to try to have that again for you tomorrow, but I want to give you the rundown of what's going on there right now, because the UK is in a revolution. Make no mistake about it. You cannot put this genie back in the bottle at this point. The people of the UK have had enough. Over 100,000 people showed up to the Unite the Kingdom rally in London over the weekend. Some estimates say that number was far larger. Of course, if you listen to the mainstream media, they're like, it was a few thousand people. Right. Okay. Just a few thousand people. The rally was organized to oppose immigration, calls for stronger border controls, and promote free speech and national unity. These people are sick and tired of being arrested for their tweets, for being held at the airport for 6 hours because of a post on social media that criticizes the government. Yes, the protests were mostly peaceful, and police say that there were just a dozen of police officers harmed and at least 25 arrests. So certain police officers were harmed and 25 arrests. Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, said that the country will not stand for assaults on police officers doing their job, or for people feeling intimidated on our streets because of their background or the color of their skin. Britain is a nation proudly built on tolerance, diversity, and respect. Our flag represents our diverse country, and we will never surrender it to those who use it as a symbol of violence and fear or division. Some say the violence stemmed from police directing crowds into counter protests on purpose, where Antifa protesters were chanting "Charlie's in a box" to celebrate the murder of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk. So imagine that, just like they did on January 6th, intentionally starting fights and to get these people to fight. So the police directing parts of the rally into areas where there was Antifa guys chanting "Charlie is in a box." I would be hard pressed if someone pushed me around the corner and I'm face to face with one of these leftist nut jobs. Like I don't start fights, but I would be hard pressed not to. I'd be hard pressed not to knock a guy out. I'm sorry. So they knew exactly what they were doing, by the way. And of course, then the cameras are right there. Right? So, hey, drive these people around the corner where there's Antifa people hanging out, get them to get into a fight and capture it on camera, show it all over the BBC and talk about how these far right-wing nut jobs are sowing division. These guys are bigots. They want our borders closed. They're tired of young people being raped in the park. Aren't they bigoted? Put it in perspective. 25 arrests is a remarkably low figure for a crowd this large. By comparison, there were nearly 900 arrests at a Palestinian Action protest just weeks ago. Almost 500 people at last month's Notting Hill Carnival. Guess go to a carnival in Notting Hill and, the beer is flowing. 500 people arrested. 25 for this one? Neither of which drew anywhere near 100,000 people, which again is a low estimate to my mind. The Prime Minister did not take to X at all to say anything about those events. Hey, all you carnival people, stop fighting. No, but he had to say something about this, of course. The government leans on labels like far-right violence to sidestep the substance of what was on display, which was a potent populist movement demanding to be heard. We were in Glasgow just a few weeks ago, or I should say about 2 months ago now. I guess I lose track, but and we were near Edinburgh as well, and just we were talking to a bunch of pensioners, retirees, who were telling us that in Scotland their country has changed forever. They can't live in the city anymore. They've been pushed out by immigrants. Where people who are expecting some sort of a help from the government, they're not getting it anymore. They're giving it in favor to the immigrants that are pouring in, coming from France, coming across the English Channel, getting better benefits than they get in France. That's why they're coming there. Because they get more money from the government and they don't have to work. Their culture is being destroyed. Their way of life is being destroyed. And the blue-collar individuals who work their asses off across the UK are watching as these other people who are coming into their country aren't working at all, and they're getting all these government benefits. One individual we talked to said that their daughter had a really severe form, required a lot of government assistance in handicapped, a really handicapped individual. And they were waiting on a particular flat. They had to get on like a list in order to get a flat that would be like handicapped accessible or something like that. And they had been on this list for so long. And when they found out that immigrants were put in the front of the list and were given the flat before them. So their own citizens are being just jacked around by all of this. So this is a country in revolution right now. And it's coming to the rest of Europe, by the way. You're seeing protests in Portugal. We've been seeing them across Spain. You're seeing them in Germany. Germany, by the way, which is now trying to militarize upwards of 100,000 people to add to this mix. 100,000 people being brought in to add to this, to join, become part of the military.